Okay, today we're going to look at volume of irregular prisms. Okay, yesterday we went over volume for rectangular prisms, and this is now going to be irregular. Okay, so volume refers to the inside space of a 3D figure. So it's however much you can fill up basically a cup. So the inside, if you fill it up, it's the volume. Volume has units measured in cubed. Sorry. So it would be units, whatever your unit is, cubed. Some examples of this are if you're, like, for example, we have centimeters down here. Centimeters cubed would be your volume units, or it could be feet cubed or inches cubed, and there's a bunch. So whatever it is, just make sure you have that power of 3. Exponent is 3. Okay, let's look at our rectangular prism like yesterday. Okay, we have 3 parts to it: the height, the length, and the width. Okay, height is how tall is the figure, so it goes up and down. Length is how long is the figure, so it's going to go from left to right, side to side. Width is how thick it is. How thick is the prism? So that's usually going to go kind of diagonal, but it's going from front to back. Okay. That being said, today we will be looking at these types of shapes. These 3D shapes. So where it looks like there's 2 rectangular prisms together, right? It's kind of like the composite figures that we saw earlier, where it was like 2 rectangles put together to make one shape. Now it's just 3D. Okay. Similar to working with composite figures 2D, the key here will be to split these figures in order to work with rectangular prisms. This way we can use the following formula. So formula from yesterday was volume is length times width times height. Okay, so I'm going to put what those mean on the side here. So V is volume. This cursive L is length. This W is width. And H is height. Okay, so volume is equal to length times width times height. Okay. So example number 1 says, find the volume of the following figure. Round to the nearest hundredths if needed. So here what we want to do first is split this up into different rectangular figures. You can do this one of 2 ways. We can either go straight down from this corner, or from that same corner go straight across. I am going to choose to go straight down. Okay. Doing that, I now need to figure out what this right here measures to. So if the whole thing is measured to 12, and this from here to here is 8, I have to subtract it. So 12 minus 8. If you don't want to do it in your head, you can do it on the calculator. That's 4. So this right here is going to be 4 millimeters. Okay. And now I just have to figure out if I got all 3 sides, right? So for this rectangular prism, I'm going to number it 2. I have my length right here. What color did I use? My length right here my height right here, and my width right here. Those are for number 2. For rectangular prism number 1, I only have my height. Oh, sorry. I only have my height and my length. Okay, so now I just have to figure out what my width is, and that would be from here to there. It's gonna be the same from here. The whole thing is the same thickness, so it'd be 2 millimeters. So that is my width for that one. Okay. So we're gonna do this how we did with the composite figures. We're gonna do volume of the first one, right? We'll put a 1 right there. And then volume of the second. Let me label this better. So it's gonna be volume of number 1, and then volume of number 2. Okay, and then in the end, we're gonna want to do volume of number 1 plus volume of number 2 is equal to the volume of the whole thing. So I put a W. Okay. So volume of number 1. And you see what my length, my width, my height is. So length is equal to 4 millimeters. Width is 2 millimeters. And height is 10 millimeters. Putting that together, I'll make this one orange. So the volume of number 1 is going to be orange. So volume of number 1 is equal to 4 times 2 times 10. Okay? And we can do that in the calculator. So 4 times 2 times 10 is equal to 80. This volume of number 1 is going to be millimeters cubed. Okay? Our next one, let's choose a different color, pink. Okay, it's going to be pink. So my length for this one is 8 millimeters. My width is also 2 millimeters. And my height is 3 millimeters. Okay. So volume of number 2 is going to be 8 times 2 times 3. And again, in the calculator, 8 times 2 times 3. That's 48. Okay. Last thing we need to do is add these two together. Oh, sorry, 48 millimeters cubed. So add those two together. This is going to be 80 plus 48 equals 128. So that's going to be our total volume for the figure. So our claim is going to say the volume is 128 millimeters cubed. So we're going to do that again with example number 2. First things first, we want to split this up. I'll just do it the opposite way than what I did earlier. Okay, like that. And number this one, number 1. Actually, I'm going to do A and B this time. This is going to be figure A, and this one's going to be figure B. Okay, for figure A, I'll make this one different pink. I'll make this one orange. So figure A, I have all 3 needed information. So 15, 4, and 2. For figure B, however, I only have my length, sorry. So now I need to figure out what my height is and my width. So looking at the thickness, it doesn't change throughout the figure, so we can just use the same one as the top one. That's going to be 2 millimeters thick, right? So you can put 2 millimeters there. And my height is going to be 11 minus 4. So it's going to be 11 minus 4. That is 7 millimeters. So that's my height for this one. Okay, and so you don't get confused, the numbers we're using for this one are 7 millimeters, 2 millimeters, and 5 millimeters. Okay. Okay, so again, we're going to do volume of A, then volume of B. My length is 15 millimeters. My width is 2 millimeters. And my height is 4 millimeters. Okay. And then for B, my length is 5 millimeters. Width is 2 millimeters. And height is 7 millimeters. In the end, again, we're going to do volume of A plus volume of B is going to equal to the volume of the whole thing. Okay? So, volume of A, we have our length, height, and width. Putting those together, we have 15 times 2 times 4. That's going to be, let's do it on their calculators, 15 times 2 times 4 is equal to 120. This is millimeters cubed. And the volume for B is going to be 5 times 2 times 7. So 5 times 2 times 7. That is equal to 70 millimeters cubed. Last thing we need to do is add those together. So 120 plus 70 is equal to, let's see, 120 plus 70 is equal to 190 millimeters cubed. This is going to be our final answer. Okay? So, our claim is going to be the volume is 190 millimeters cubed. Okay. So, that is the end of our notes. You just have to remember that even though it looks intense, you have to break down your irregular prisms into separate rectangular prisms, and then use the volume formula to find the volume of both separate prisms and add them together. Okay, so now you guys may work on the worksheet.